Well, hello there. Going to have a look at the Pure Classic Mini today. DAB, FM and Bluetooth speaker, little portable unit. I believe this came out in November 2024. I picked one up from Amazon for £79. So I'm going to have a look at this and then compare it to, I suppose, what might be its closest competitor, the Roberts Petite 2. So it's a USB-C charging radio, inbuilt battery rated at 15 hours battery life, got built-in telescopic aerial, a wrist strap here. I can't see myself walking around with this dangling from my wrist, but I guess you could use that to hang it from a hook in a wall or something. Could be useful. 4 little rubber feet. Speaker in the front and then a passive bass radiator on the back for improved bass response. Power button on the front there, requires a press of a second or two and then it boots up in about 3 seconds after that.
Slog here? No, I'm floating.
Nice twisty dial for the volume on there.
And then as I get to the landing,
that's really great to have, and this also presses in and you can use it to select menu items and things as you're scrolling through the menus. Station lists and presets are accessed via these 2 buttons to scroll through. And then you press that to select your station. Oh, I don't think we want capital UK on. Has got 2 dedicated presets buttons on the front there, so you can save 2 favourites for quick access, which is good, and then you can store more by using this and then entering that menu and selecting, there you go, and pressing that to select. So that's good. You've got presets on there. A source button here that flicks between DAB, FM and Bluetooth. And then this button here is like the menu button. A single press will bring up a menu there. And then you scroll through with all that. And you can change your settings. That's got an equalizer of sorts. You can select either music mode or voice mode. Voice mode just takes away a bit of the bass. That button there is also kind of the back button, which will return you to previous menus. Switch off, you need a press for about a second and then it just switches off. So it's all right, decent little unit, fairly compact. Nice warm sound signature with the music equalizer setting on. Does have some warmth and mid-bass presence due to this passive radiator on the back, and at £79 it's 21 quid cheaper than the Roberts Petite 2, but is it as good as the Roberts Petite 2? One thing I definitely prefer on the Petite 2 is that you just simply press the power button and it switches on. There's no holding or anything. Press and it takes about 4 seconds to boot up. That's it. You don't have to stand there holding a button, even though it's only for like a second or a second and a half or something. In practice, it's annoyed me a little bit because this is just quicker. Same for powering off. Just press and it's off. But with this one, you have to press and hold to power it off. It's just relatively annoying compared to the way it works on the Petite 2. The size as well. The Pure Classic Mini is a fair bit bigger than the Roberts. Bit chunkier, bit heavier, and you might expect that to greatly enhance the sound. Let's talk about the sound then. Obviously that's the most important thing. This does have a nice warm tone, but it sounds just a lot more boxy than the Petite 2. The Petite 2 to my ears just sounds much more open and natural. So this probably does have a tad more bass warmth, but it just doesn't sound as natural as the Petite 2. More boxy sounding. If I hadn't heard the Petite 2 and I'd only heard this one, I'd probably be more than happy with this. But this has got one thing that's, I think it's unforgivable really. At really low volumes, like bedside listening volumes, there's like an electronic sort of gurgly hissing sound on when the volume control is set to sort of level 3, 4 for really close-up bedside listening. I only got this yesterday and listened to it last night in bed as I was trying to fall asleep, just to test it really, and this low-level gurgling hiss was audible and distracting, and that is just not good enough. That isn't present at all with the Roberts Petite, which is fantastic for bedside low volume listening. There's no hiss or gurgle on this whatsoever, and it sounds clear and open at low volumes. That's just not forgivable, having that gurgly hiss. on this unit. Also, although this is a bigger unit, the battery life is rated at 15 hours versus 20 hours on this. You'd expect more battery life from a bigger unit, wouldn't you? I would, but no, 5 hours less. Also, selecting stations and scrolling through presets and just a standard station list is much quicker and simpler and easier with this radio. If you've got a radio station playing on here, you simply twist the dial and it'll scroll through available stations. Press of that and you're done. With this one, so I've had this sitting on a shelf above my desk, so if I want to change the radio station, I've had to kind of reach round here, start trying to press those to scroll through, then that to select. It's just more cumbersome, slower, and not as easy to change stations on the Pure Classic Mini as it is on the Roberts Petite 2. Both these radios have a sleep timer, which I think is an essential feature of a small portable radio. With the Roberts Petite 2, you just press and hold the power button for a couple of seconds and it brings your sleep timer straight up. Twist that, set it, you're done. There is a sleep timer on here, but you have to access it through the menus, scroll through and do it that way. It only takes a couple more clicks than it does to do on the Roberts, but if they can do it, it's just better thought out on this radio than it is on this radio. And the last thing is the way they look. I mean, this isn't a pug ugly unit, I don't think. It looks quite cute. Don't think this is real wood, kind of textured, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure that's real wood. But yeah, in general terms of looks, this looks okay, but this is just beautiful and looks much more stylish than this does, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let's have a listen to the audio and you can make your own mind up on that. Obviously, listening via good headphones or speakers is recommended to pick up the differences, the nuances in the sound. But for me, yeah, the Petite 2 is the winner and this one will be going back. It's not a bad little radio, but that low volume, gurgling, hissing sound, yeah, that's just a no-no, that's unforgivable. So yeah, this one's going back and this one's still my favourite little portable radio. Thank you for having a look and let me know your thoughts. And good day to you. I said good day.
Room, and I remember even just looking out the window and seeing loads of police in the back, seeing guns being pointed at me, telling me don't move. Before I knew it, I was being pinned down on the floor.
To a police station, going into a cell, and then there was our small boy locked up in a little cell.
For that parent, it's absolutely heartbreaking, and they feel all sorts of emotions, failing as a parent, guilty, all those things.
has been considering why the conflict there has suddenly reignited.
Throughout the long years of war after 2011, Bashar al-Assad's rule survived because he was prepared to break Syria to save the regime he'd inherited from his father, and because Russia, Iran, and Lebanese Hezbollah intervened on his side against rebel groups that ranged from the jihadist extremists of Islamic State